Okay. Wait, are we
Hannah,
recording? Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah, we're recording. Do you randomly approach complete strangers to blitz, or do you start a conversation, or only blitz when you purchase something? That was the first question.
All of them. All A, B, and C. All right, so, blitzing is not a thought anymore in my head. Blitzing is, I incorporate it in with my day. Whether I have the It Works gear on or not, it is just a part of who I am. So it's not a selective process. I don't go, oh, well, he's cute, let me blitz him. Or she's cute, let me blitz her. I don't do that. There's no judgment there. Unless I'd see someone that has just the worst disposition in life, then I definitely don't want to blitz them because I don't want to get hurt. They might come back at me. So that's rare. But so I'm looking at it like this. If I'm at the dry cleaner and I'm dropping off dry cleaning and the woman behind the desk is bored out of her mind, she is. She's at a dry cleaner. And so I'm going to just say, hey, dropping off my dry cleaning, I'd love to give you a coupon for my product. That's it. Let the conversation start. If we're at the grocery store, there's somebody next to me with a cart full of groceries and a cart full of kids, I'm going to, strike up a conversation somehow, some way about the kids. And then I'm going to say, hey, I'd love to give you a coupon for my product. Like, it's just natural to do. Like, it's not even a thought. Like, I'm doing it so naturally, they feel comfortable. It's not awkward for me. When I am shopping, Kaye and I and Laura were at a bridal shop just last week, and we made the connection with the bridal shop manager. We just talked to her nice and polite through the whole afternoon, and then at the end, as we're walking out the door, Kaye handed her a coupon. You were so gracious and so nice. Here's a coupon for my product. There the conversation took place, but we didn't do it in the beginning. We waited. And if you're next to someone on an airplane and the flight is 3 hours, you don't have to do that. As soon as you sit down, why don't you find out about that person? Why don't you make a conversation and then naturally start asking them, well, what do you do? What do you do for a living? How many kids do you have? And then partway through it, halfway through the flight, they're going to ask you the same thing. Well, what do you do? Reach down, get a coupon, here's a blitz, and don't say a blitz card because they don't know what that is, but everyone knows what a coupon is. So TIffany, it's just everywhere and anywhere, and always be ready and be ready to wrap. Be prepared at all times. And I can't tell you how many times we've walked into a shop just with normal street clothes, and because we're so happy and excited about the day, people go, what do y'all do? I mean, they can kind of tell we do something. And then that's when we bring out the coupon. We're always ready. Going through Starbucks window, here's a coupon for my product. Why do we make that so hard? It's so simple. Great question. Okay.
Sorry, it keeps showing that I can't unmute, and then it does. Okay, so Michael's got the next question.
Okay. Actually, I love this question. I remember Mark mentioned something on the VIP at conference, and when we had together, he said, you've said you can be dropped off anywhere in the world and build a diamond in no time flat. I know the steps to success is the basis of our business, but what's the number one daily habit or routine you suggest to do to grow your business?
Just take action, Michael. It's I really feel like, because I'll tell you why I feel that way. I could cry right now, tearing up, thinking about how passionate I am about It Works. When I think about drop me out of an airplane somewhere, put me in the middle of that little small town, Andy Griffith town, Aunt Bee, Mayberry. I know a lot of you don't know who that is, but they're such a fun little town. And I'll come out with somebody that wants to go for it. And through that person, we'll build a diamond through the belief of that person. Now, it might take me 4 or 5 people or even 10 to find that person that wants to go for it. And I'm not talking about me putting everybody underneath them. I'm talking about finding that person that wants to run with me. And so it's my passion, my heart, my belief in what I'm doing. They can't stand it, but get in. I mean, they have to. They got chill bumps too. They're feeling something. And so that's what we all collectively need to do every morning. And if you have to get up and do jumping jacks, if you have to roll around with your babies everywhere and get that energy going, reading from 30 minutes from a great book that just juices you and jazzes you, turn that music on. You know, I love disco, turning on disco. My gosh, you could be unhappy with that. And just get those juices flowing and start making those phone calls, start leading with those text messages and Facebook, and just put that energy, that right juice in there. And no matter what you do during the day, as long as that action is taken towards two things: building distributors and acquiring customers, because that's what Mark pays you for. He pays you for those two things. He does not pay you to scroll through Facebook and wonder what the heck Michael and Susan are doing. Doesn't pay you for that. He doesn't pay you to go wish that you had 3 daughters like them, because that's the reason they're successful. Well, Susan didn't start out with 3 babies. She did not start this business with 3 babies. So that's just an excuse that you're using to keep you from starting. If you're a man in this business and you're working solo, great. You know, you've been looking for women all your life. Now look for women that want to, you know. I mean, seriously, look for women. I mean, what a great segue into talking to women. So don't use it as an excuse. Get fired up, get passionate, and take action towards acquiring customers and distributors, and then put them in the system. See who wants to run with you and run with those. Everyone else can just watch. They can just watch, because I got to go run. Great question. Okay.
I'm next. Nolan Passick made an appearance, though. How about that? He wants to say,
how's that garage of yours in that backyard?
It's growing.
So I know I was thinking about this time last year you were here. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Amazing. Okay, so the next question was, what's the best advice you have or that you know of for loyal customer follow-up? Everybody wants to nail down like a system. So do you know of like a great one?
Yeah, it's do it. That's the system. You're not doing it. So, all right, so everyone's different. We all have a different way of being organized. Some is scattered organized. You know, I can go to some people's houses and it looks so scattered to me, but yet they can find things. And we can be so organized sometimes and not even find anything because we're so neat, we've just put it all away. So here's how I did it. I used the old IBM system that I was taught when I was selling computers, and it's called a tickler file. And in that file, and really, you can still get it, I can't believe it, but you can probably do this online and offline as well. I used a card system, and it had the monthly calendar in it. It was just all right, think of a box like this long, this wide, that held index cards. So let's say it had October and then 1 through 31, which were the dates. And behind that was November, December. And so in October, on the 5th of October, I would pull out the cards of those customers that AutoShip was going to run within the next 5 to 7 days. These are the people that I talked to today. These are who I follow up with today. Now, within that date could also be a potential distributor that I wanted to follow up with, that I said, okay, how about I give you a call next month to see if you're ready to join It Works. So it could be not just customers, it could be distributors. That was the way that I could keep myself organized. And then I might also have in that date a customer that was just receiving their product. I knew, you know, they were about a week out of receiving their product. So I wanted to make sure that I called them. Here's the number one reason that people call in and cancel. They have too much product. And so that's telling me they're not taking it. They're not taking it. Why are they not taking it? Well, one, lazy. Two, I don't know how to use it. How many times have we bought products and we didn't open the bottle? I'll never forget that woman calling me and saying, ThermoFit doesn't work. And I said, okay, well, go get your bottle. And I waited, and she did. I said, now pour out all the ThermoFits that you have left. And she said, well, I haven't opened it. I'm like, you haven't opened it? Well, what that meant was, it can't work, honey, if you don't open it. You know, you got to open the bottle and take the product for it to work. So we assume that they know how to use the wraps. Most people don't know how to use the wraps. So we want to walk them through the wraps. We want to make sure that they know how to use their products. We want to follow up on time. And then send them a thank you note. Put on their card what their birth date is. Put that in your tickler file. You know, send them a thank you card, send them a birthday card. Be the best that you could possibly be at customer service. And some of you have been in long enough, like TIffany and Kaye, that you probably have a couple hundred customers. And if you could keep them all, my gosh, the volume that could feed off of that, you'll eventually have thousands. And so be the best that you can be. That means don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call them and touch base with them. Don't be afraid that they're going to say, I hate this stuff. They're not. They haven't even used it. So do that. Now, a couple of things we're going to do corporately you're going to love. This is all going to start to take place some of it this month. Better apps for them, better follow-up, teasers for them to buy more product. Like every customer that you have and have ever had, do they know about probiotics? Are they pooping? Ask them. Most of them aren't. They would love probiotics. So why aren't we contacting them and say, we just got to thank you for your loyalty as being a customer of mine, even if they quit 2 years ago, even if you have to refresh their mind who you are and tell them about probiotics and be prepared to send them some information on it. So touch base with them, set up your own filing system, or your memory jogger, whatever feels, some of you are so electronic, do it electronically through your calendar. Just do it. Great question.
Okay. I'm next.
Okay.
Hey, Mama, what do you do to keep your team firing on all cylinders as a unit?
As a unit, you know, team building has always been one of our strengths. And you know, they say, I was just reading about the Marines, and why are the Marines, why would they just all go up a hill together as one and fight? Because they're not going to leave somebody behind. They're a brotherhood, a sisterhood. That's what we want within our teams. We want, I want to be held accountable. I want you to hold me accountable, and I want to hold you accountable. And I think I know one of the ways to do that is to find out why we're doing this. Why are we getting up every day and putting these shirts on? You know, why are we doing that? Why are we wearing green jewelry? Why do we get our toenails painted in these weird, funky green colors? And, you know, we changed every color palette of every fashion design home because they're like freaking out on all these black, green, and bling. So why do we do that? Because we want to be a part of a team. We all do. We all want to feel like we are a part of something bigger than who we are. And so we want to create that kinship, that bondship. And the way that we do this is through these Zooms, through, I love that your team recognitions that you do, Kaye, when, you know, top and roller just for your team. You're following some of the things that we do for you as leaders. You're pouring that back down into your team. Recognize people for what you're wanting to create within your business, which is gathering customers, gathering distributors, following the steps to success, being fast start qualified, being on auto ship. These are things, you know, I got into network marketing when I look back as to why. Yes, we needed some extra money, but I also wanted some recognition. I wanted to feel like I was contributing to my family, to a greater good, but I also needed that little pat on the back. And you're a mom and you're at home. Your husband comes in tired. He's not going to say, "Great job." He says, "What'd you do all day?" Well, my gosh, just do what I did today. Instead of what you needed, they don't see it because it's all done. And so I just needed somebody else to recognize me. We're all this way, every single one of us. So let's recognize and reward for what we want people doing, and then more will see that and follow. And so team building, your team should be everything to you, but that doesn't mean you give them anything. That means you inspire them with your leadership. You point them in the direction that you want them to go. You help them find their own way. You guide them through those steps to success. Okay.
I've got the next one.
Okay.
What is the most common mistake you see made among those building from diamond upward?
Stopping. Setting down, getting complacent, thinking I've arrived. When you become a diamond, that is when you really pour on the gas. That is when you take that team that you have and you move forward and you don't stop adding new team. And if that team isn't going with you, why? Have you crippled them by putting everything under them? Have you not taught them the basic skills? And if that's true, don't do it again with this next team. Learn from that. If they're not coming with you, why? Did their why not get established? Do you even know why they're doing this? Did you just build an emerald and a ruby because you were hell-bent on doing it and it didn't matter where you put everybody, and then you didn't go back and work with them? Guess what? We've all done it. We've all done that because we were going to go no matter what. But it would be like, Susan, you taking your 3 daughters and never teaching them how to take their own bath. Or teaching them how to do their own laundry. You'd be doing it until they left home. So we've got to teach people how to go after their own prospects, both customers and distributors. It seems like it takes longer, and it might, but oh wow. Are you going to have a team when you get there? Not everybody, not everyone. Some are still falling apart. Some are still falling away. Some are still quitting. But that's what people do. So what you do at Diamond, you pour on the gas. You're going to get an $80 leadership bonus for everyone that comes into that organization through unlimited levels. If 10 people came into your organization this week, that's $800 additional dollars. There should be diamonds making $5 to $10 grand because they pour on the gas instead of sitting there going, I got my good, I'm great, I'm sit here and my team. Why doesn't my team go to work? Because they're following you. How do they even know you sat down? I have no idea, but they do because the energy left. You're not posting as much. You're not following up as much. It seems like you don't even care about them anymore. And we know you need to go forward, but you still need to stay connected so that they'll move forward with you all the way to ambassador and beyond.
That kind of reminds me, Pam, of something that you said, I think when we were eating dinner once. You said, isn't it interesting that people care more about a $400, $500 good bonus than they do leadership bonuses? And if they really understood what our compensation plan could do, the good bonuses wouldn't seem that big of a deal. They'd be running after those leadership bonuses. All
right. Right now we got the good back. So let's put it in perspective. I could do this for you. I will take your average diamond check and keep that, and you can have the diamond good bonus.
Yeah.
Because on average, I'm going to make about $1,900 from that, and you're going to make $4,000. So what is a good bonus? It is a bonus. That is it. It comes, and then 25 months later, it's gone. It is an additional source of income for you. Now, why do you love it so much? Because you can go around and say, I got a $10,000 good bonus. why don't you go around and say, I'm diamond, average income, $1,900 a month. That is unbelievable. Do you know most people make less than that? The vast majority in the whole country makes less than that a month. So if you don't get a good bonus, if your good bonus is no longer active, then you need to look at getting those leadership bonuses, getting that generational bonus. Creating diamonds will put so much money. Every diamond that you personally enroll who also gets to diamond, on average, if they're maintaining, that's 10 grand. Guess how much that is to you extra a month? $900. $900 from helping somebody else go diamond all day long. I'll do it. All day long, I'll do that. So why don't we, as a team, as a group, really teach people the compensation plan? Why don't we dig a little deeper into it and show them the value of being a diamond, why they want to be a diamond? Let's not be afraid of it. All right, you're approaching diamond. This is why. Leadership bonus, generational bonus, that enroller bonus really kicks in there because you're going to be creating more diamonds. And this is really why you see Stephanie Dunn, Cammie Dempsey, Denise Walsh focusing on front level diamonds. Oh, that might be the key to black diamond. Yes, front level diamonds all day long. I'll take it over any good bonus, even $100,000 good bonus. I would take that, and it's already a part of your compensation. Yeah. All right, TIffany. You next?
Michael.
Michael want another one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to chart, and we've heard a lot of, there's different ambassadors building rubies by sponsor placing. So basically, if you get a DT, I'll match you a distributor. What do you know to be the best approach in building a potential distributor to Ruby over 2 calendar months?
You're not going to like my answer.
We've never done that, by the way. We don't.
Okay. Well, it's okay if you have.
I mean, a question.
All right. So this goes back to mindset. Whatever you believe, you achieve. So if they believe that that is the best way to build, they're going to be successful. Right? If that makes them happy and they feel strong about that and it's working, do it for them. If that doesn't feel that way for you, then don't do that. For me, I like to personally put everyone in on the front level and see who wants to play. That's just the way I am. Because I've done it wrong so long, like in my first business, that I would take people somewhere like to Ruby or to Diamond so I could get somewhere and wondered why they weren't there when I got there. They weren't there because they knew that I basically used them to get there. They knew that I really didn't care to get there, and I've done that. So with this, what we decided when we started building this was not to go back and pull people out of other companies. We started fresh with brand new people, and we built organically. And so we put everyone on the front line, and we said, go to work. We'll work with you. We're there for you. We're going to point. We're going to guide. We're going to teach you how to build. And most quit, but a handful stayed. And then through those, we found other people. So Susan, did anyone give you or Michael a distributor?
No.
TIffany?
Nope.
And if they did, if they gave you one, was that not, have you given somebody a distributor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did that go for you?
Well, it's in the beginning, I kind of did it to where, I think I saw a question on here, you mentioned it, where you don't look anywhere, you just put them in the boxes. They were a box. And I made that mistake. Now I kind of do what you said, how you kind of watch who wants to play.
Yeah.
You get a feel for who, I kind of know by giving them, goals. In your next 24 hours, let's see if you can get 4 customers. If they go to play in those 24 hours, I pencil them in as my Ruby on my chart. That's how we do it strategically, rather than just throwing them in.
Mm-hmm. And see, if somebody comes to me, like from Roanoke, they want to come in, I turn them on to Kaye, because I know she's going to take care of them. She's going to teach them right. And if all right, so for instance, let me bring you on, Kaye.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I know that you do try to team people up. Like you have somebody that is working, which we've taught this. They are working. Here comes somebody else that matches their personality. Mm-hmm. Maybe has the same number of kids, about the same age. And that has worked for you.
Yeah, I mean, first I look at my chart, my next promotion. I look at myself or a personally enrolled diamond potential diamond that I'm working with, and I look at their next promotion. I look at mine, like my 2.0, and I'm going, well, I'm working on my 2.0 to double. So I have my diamond and my emerald, and I look and go, does this make sense in my chart? Mm-hmm. First I go, is it too far down? Because if it's too far down, like that's a whole nother story. I'm not going to go there. But if I'm working with a ruby for an emerald, then I'll probably place there. But I'll go to that person that I'm placing with and say, hey, I've got this, like yesterday, hey, I've got this new person I enrolled. She's a mom of 2. I think that you would work really well together. Are you willing to help me lead her? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What do I need to do? Well, we're going to get a 3-way chat going, and then we're going to start voice memoing each other. We're going to guide each other and to get those 4 customers. And so we start working as a team, and I don't know any other way other than to build teams. That's what I know, and that's what works for me. And it doesn't always play out. Like I've placed with people, and then I'm like, they're like crickets, it's like the sponsor just quits, and then I adopt them up and just try again, and it's like not always perfect, you guys, but again, I'm trying to look for who's going to play, and some people promise more play than they deliver. I mean, that's just,
and compression's a beautiful thing. So someone that quits, someone under them may be on fire, and I start working with them because they're going to eventually compress up.
So I love this because Kaye and I have had this conversation so many times, and when you're a great recruiter, when you're a strong recruiter, you need help building that team. So I'm all over that. What I'm not all over is you just throwing people in under someone and there's no communication. Like she said, she puts them in a 3-way chat. That makes no sense to me, doing it any other way than to make the person you're placing them under to be responsible also for their success.
Oh, let me make a point. So for example, let's say you place Beth under Mary and you never introduce them, and Mary's like, wait, I have this girl under me, and you're like, I placed her there, and she's like,
I made that mistake in the beginning, big time, because I wanted to be in control. I wanted them to come to me. I enrolled them. And all it did was cause disconnect, and a lot of people crumbled, and now we do the chats just like Kaye was talking about.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. That's how you build. That's how you build. So for those of you listening, if that's too much information, then do this. Build a Ruby. Go build Ruby. If you're new, build yourself to Ruby. You'll start to get this. But I agree on putting people together, but the conversation has to be strong and everybody has to be in agreement, and you never give up in rollership. That's the key. So when the compression, which we have full compression, which is absolutely beautiful, when compression, if somebody opts out, then compression takes place and they're right back up where you want them to be, which is on your first or second level. If we didn't believe in placement, we would take it out of the compensation plan. Mm-hmm. There is a reason for it. Great conversation. Okay.
All right, my turn. Okay, this one, someone had asked about life having seasons that we know, but what strategies do we implement to keep leaders focused on the bigger goals when they've lost focus after Diamond or other promotions? Or I think even in this case, losing rank, people that have lost and fallen back.
Yeah. Okay, so losing rank, falling back, takes place way before the month that happened. Okay? It's a something that happened several months prior, and it's continuing to happen month after month after month. I just had this amazing conversation with one of our ambassador diamonds right before this call, and I felt so strongly about what she was willing to say, and she took full ownership of her losing rank and what was going on within her team. And it was such an epiphany that she had while talking to me. This started back when she first ranked ambassador. That very month, she started feeling unworthy. She started feeling like, could she lead? She started having all these horrifying thoughts that were very real to her. So then she stops what she was doing, which was recruiting a lot of people. That's how she got to ambassador. In 2 years, she got to ambassador. And so what I'd like for all of you, if you have lost rank, if your business is not going in the direction that you want it to go in, then look back at when this started. And I asked her, when did the fun stop? When did the fun, when did the passion and the excitement leave? And she said, when I hit ambassador. Then all these thoughts started coming in that I wasn't worthy. Could I lead this team? And she said it became a trickle-down effect that her team started feeling it. But then she almost built her entire ambassador organization with her family. So there was no one really working there. And so it was like a house of cards. And so we need to look at that too. And when you get there and you do lose rank, then you need to look at all the reasons why, so that you don't repeat that. It becomes wisdom. Okay, so let's take an honest look at why. Just like TIffany and Cody Chapman, looking at why did I get to presidential in less than a year, or right around a year, and then 3.5 years later, I'm still not ambassador. Well, after several conversations, Cody realized that he needed to go back. He is mathematical, green, go back and look at what he did to get to presidential. And he built the steps to success. They were recruiting like crazy. They were duplicating that through their team, and they were personally on fire. He gets to presidential, and he becomes a manager. They become a manager and not a leader anymore. They start to manage their triples and doubles to get to ambassador. They start to pull and push and prod and quit personally recruiting the way that they did up until that point. It became no fun. It became grueling work. And when they realized this, they stopped doing that. They went back to personal business. They went back to personally sponsoring, personally building rubies on up to diamonds. And they got to ambassador in 8 months with all new people. So let's look at that. It's not the company. It's not the compensation plan. It's not the earth. It's not the sun. It's not the moon. It is us. That's what we need to understand. We are here at this point because we need to learn something. We need to change our focus on how we've been building so that this doesn't happen again. All right, so then let's look at, well, it's the summer. Okay. Here in Sarasota, we have snowbirds, and they're not actually birds. They're a generation of older people. And during the winter, when it's winter up north with the Sassacks, they decide, and the Passicks, and well, the Sassacks moved down. The Passicks, they're still up there because they got their little. What they decide is they're going to all flock down here to Sarasota. So here they come. I can already tell that the traffic is picking up. They start in October, and then they leave the weekend after Easter. That's when they leave. Now, It is a field day and a heyday and a money-making day down here. The circle goes crazy. This is where they make all the money. They absolutely love this season. And then after Easter, it's like, where did everybody go? There's nobody at any of the shops, any of the restaurants, but they know, all right, during that season, I've got to make all the money I can. They understand that. They get it. So here we are. When we look at our organizations, I see all of you who I'm talking to today. You have little kiddos. Summer comes, you want to go to Disney. You want to go to the pool every day. You want to spend time with your family. They're home from school. So what do? Mostly that. Habits change. The day structure is no longer the same. So you fall out of that routine. And then you wonder why your business starts to slack. But here's the thing. You start getting ready for that in April or May. Your thoughts are already heading into summer in April and May. And this is when it starts. And you stop bringing in as many customers. And so those customers are not renewing in June or July because you're not taking care of them. August comes and it's like, what just happened? Well, that started back in March, April, and May. And so in order for us to change this, we need to do a couple of things. We need to understand our demographics and what our demographics does. And our demographics pretty much at this point are young parents with small children who in the summer tend to want to play. I get that. So how can we drive that business through these summer months so that they don't do that as much? Or why don't we do this? Why don't we get in homes and host wrap parties and go after the market segment that we have tended to miss that actually has a huge demographic? They're called baby boomers, who are now retiring, getting out of their day in and day out jobs. And guess what? 60 to 70% are going to work at Walmart. They're going to look at the fast food restaurants. They're filling them up because they need jobs. And so why don't we get back in the homes, host wrap parties where we're going to find them, because we're not going to find them on Facebook. And if we do, their only friends are their kids, watching their grandchildren grow up on Facebook. So there's a lot of things that we can do with just the wisdom of this and understand our business so that we're not losing rank, so that we're not losing volume, so that each year we don't have this conversation. But let's look at it from this perspective too. It works itself as a corporate company has grown. We've added 2 to 3 new employees every single week. We are growing. We're putting in new systems, better systems. We're getting ready to add some really cool things for your customers this month. We're going to continue to offer you incredible things to grow your business. So we have not hunkered down and are going to play during the summer. We are building, and we're going to take this company to 4 to 5 billion. And some of you are not going to be here because you sat down, you got frustrated, you felt like something went wrong when you did not look at your business like a business owner and collectively make a decision within your teams that you are no longer going to be listening to It's the Summer, listening to It's the Spring, listening to that. You're going to go take some inroads to make it through this so that your year goes completely up this way and continues to grow. So that was a long answer to a very short question. All right, who's next?
My constant battle is work ethic. I do not want to work anything. I don't want to work anything 15 hours a day because I left corporate America for that reason. Can I still reach ambassador working my business 4 to 5 hours a day?
Oh, gosh. I bet our ambassadors don't work 4 to 5 hours a day. I've watched them. Absolutely. Yes, this is, put it out there. Put it on your dream board. I am Ambassador Diamond. I'm making X amount of money every single month. And I work 4 hours a day. doing this, man, I'm on. Those 4 hours a day, I am on. I am focused. I am building, because that's about what everybody's doing. You think they're working 15 hours a day. Now, they may be doing this 15 hours a day, but I can guarantee it's not productive. They're looking around. They're seeing what's going on out there. I built a solid business in 4 to 5 hours a day, because those 4 or 5 hours I was focused, bringing in new customers, new distributors, teaching them how to do the same, and was getting paid because of those two things. And that's what you should do, is focus on those. And then the other time you can just be piddling around on Facebook if you want. But if you, whoever said this, I salute you. I'll take you any day of the week if you're going to give me 4 to 5 hours a day, consistent, solid effort. You're going Black Diamond if you do that. Absolutely. Yeah. Great question.
Okay. The question I was going to do next, you kind of already, like in that long answer you just gave, you kind of covered it. So I'm going to go to the next one.
Okay.
Were there ever days that you got overwhelmed? Women are strong individuals and can be so self-motivated for so long, but sometimes there's just that day that needs to be in reflection. I feel guilty for even feeling overwhelmed.
Oh, no, I never feel guilty for feeling overwhelmed, and I never feel guilty for going and hiding under the covers and shutting my brain down, you know, drinking a glass of wine out by the water, going to take a walk on the beach. Taking care of myself is vitally important. Going and getting that massage, getting that manicure and that pedicure, having somebody just rub your head. You know, I mean, we got to take care of ourselves. Why do this if we're not having fun? Why do this if we're totally freaked out, stressed out? It's not worth it. So absolutely, I remember coming in so tired from being on the road. This was November, and we were down here. And I mean, I had traveled so much that year. I think I was gone every week somewhere. And this is when we had switched computer systems and everything went haywire. And I needed to be in the office 24/7 to be on the phone, just to do whatever I needed to be. And I mean, I was brain dead completely. I cried. I was in such oxygen deprived. You know, I needed a break, but I couldn't take it then. But man, when I could take it, I did. And I mean, I shut down for like a week. I just had to reprogram. I had to reprocess. I had to swim. I had to work out. I just needed some rest. And when you feel like you need that, especially as a mom, don't feel guilty over that. That's your body telling you you need a break. We're going to have a problem here if we don't. And so you've got to go do whatever you love to do. Go hide under the covers and read a book. I like to do that. And just shut the door and don't. Now I have this Linwood suite that's off by itself, and I can go up there and lock it, and nobody can find me. So it's such a good little place to go. And Dave came up one time and said, "Do you want some lunch?" I said, "Look, you're bothering my party up here. If I wanted some lunch, I'd text you. I'm just fine." And Kaye knows this is true. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Shut it down if you need to, because you're going to come back stronger. You're going to miss it. I'm telling you, when I'm gone a couple days, I miss you guys. I'm like, wonder what everyone's doing. Oh my gosh, I miss everybody. So I have to come back and hang out with you guys again.
And it's good seeing you say that, because even as an ambassador, like that's probably one of my biggest struggles right now, is just being go, go, go all the time, feeling like, you know, I am more workaholic right now just because I love what I do. But it's good to know. And I remember you telling me, if you need a day to go hide under the covers, you can have a day.
Yeah. You know, you just don't want to stay there too long, because then you start to think.
Yeah.
You start to think, are things wrong? And then here comes another thought. I don't know why we do that. When nothing's wrong, everything's perfect. You just needed a couple of days. So come back even stronger with a renewed mind and a renewed spirit that everything is fabulous. I just needed to check out.
Right.
And Mom, you always taught me this. When you're out having fun, that's typically when you meet your next rock star.
Yeah.
Like, just allow yourself, go have that pedicure time. Go get a massage. Go read a book at a coffee shop you've never been to before. Go be you. And then before you know it, you're like, wow, I'm so glad I did that because I just met so-and-so. And it's not, this business is not meant to be like gut wrenching and hard and
Yeah.
It's supposed to bring new life and love to our lives and our families. So do the things that you all love doing. That's where we tend to meet the most amazing people, like on your vacations or on your lunches out together because you're decided that Monday's date day with your spouse. You just live your life and have fun. And that's when you meet the most amazing people. And you've always taught me that. And when I go back to that is when the business becomes truly at its best. And so I appreciate that.
Kaye and I'll be out and we'll stop in and we'll say, let's get a glass of wine. And so we'll stop in and we're sitting there getting something to eat and a glass of wine. And there's the person. And we're like, oh my gosh, we're just supposed to be having a glass of wine, but they're just so perfect for the business. So then invariably we talk to them and the next thing you know, they're in and they're on and it's fun. And it seems like it comes out of nowhere, but it's because your energy is up so high there. You're having so much fun that people are attracted to that, the right people. And when you're stressed out and you're not having fun and you feel like I'm hungry, I got to get this person, I'm desperate, you're going to get a desperate person. You're going to go out and here they come, that person that's going to just drive you insane because they're so desperate. Because at that point that's when you go lay down. That's when you go take a nap. And that's when you come back out and you go for a walk somewhere with your children and you run into somebody at the park. That's when you go out to dinner with your husband and there's the perfect couple in your business standing right next to you. That's when you go get some of those cracked donuts they have up in these donuts that when you eat them, you're like, oh my God, that's the best donut I've ever had in my life. Do they ship worldwide?
I'll find out, Pam.
All right, next question.
All right. I love this question. I think no matter what rank, I cannot wait to hear your response because I hear you say this all the time. You say,
Okay.
Get over yourself.
Yeah.
Can you get clear with everybody about what that exactly means? Because I know it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, we have to keep getting over ourselves as we grow, but what do you mean by that?
I mean that feeling of unworthiness. You know, that feeling of incompetence. That feeling of I'm not good enough. That feeling of I don't know the answers. That feeling of why me? Why did I get this? Get over all of that. You're here. You're here and you are worthy or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be born. We're all born with the same opportunities. Now, some of us may have something that on the outside doesn't look right, but it is right. It's always right. And for me, it was getting over the fear of what will people think, the fear of rejection, the fear of not. I'm a very proud woman, and I like to be smart. I mean, it's like something I work on is always, feeding my mind. And I don't know everything, and so get over that, Pam. You don't know everything, and that's okay. You'll learn along the way. The main thing is get over the thought of why me, unworthiness, and can I do this? Can I lead? You learn to lead one person at a time, and so read the books, listen to the right tapes. Audios, CDs, DVDs, YouTube. Listen to everything right to get your mind right. And when you have those thoughts, write them down, journal them, and say, why am I feeling this way? Why? And ask yourself that question. What do I need to get over? And get quiet and start writing, and you will tell you what that is. A lot of people get to ambassador and they suddenly feel unworthy. They suddenly feel that, how did I get here? I got here so quickly. You know what? You don't even know. None of us know how we got somewhere. But what we do know is we got up and we took action. And that action led to this person and that person and this person. And there's no rhyme or reason other than we had a dream, and it might have been this big at the time. And that dream could have been, this might work for me. I need $200. And then the dream grows. And then it grows, and then it grows, and it grows, and it grows. And I've watched Mark. We never said the billion word. That didn't even enter our brain until it entered our brain. And then once it got in there, we're like, we can do that. We can go beyond a billion. So we had to get over the fact that we couldn't go beyond a billion. So that's what I mean. It's nothing derogatory. It's I say it to shake you up. One woman said, I've been mad at you for 6 months, and then I woke up and I got it. I got over myself. I got it. You saw it in 10 seconds. It took me 6 more months. I said, well, really, it took you, how old are you? It took you that long. And then she said, I'm not going to get mad at you again because I totally get it. So if I say it to you, it comes from a place of love, wisdom, and understanding. So write down on a piece of paper, get over yourself, and then allow the writing to come, allow the thoughts to come, and you'll find out why you are where you are in your business. If you're stuck at a certain dollar amount per month, you'll find out by asking yourself that question. I was watching the coolest show on Netflix, and it was Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda, and Lily's the pot-smoking hippie in there, and Jane is just so Jane. And Lily was saying, you need to video journal. And so Jane gets her phone out because she's stuck in a place. And Lily says, you video journal, which is the same thing as writing in a journal, you'll answer the question. I can't answer it for you. No one can. So she gets her phone up. And of course, at first she goes, I am so beautiful. And so she's doing that at first, not even thinking about the question. It's so funny. You have to watch this Netflix show. So she starts video. She videos herself, turns it on, and she asks herself that question that she wanted to know, should she continue to date this one guy? And within a matter of a minute, she gets the answer, and she's answering herself. So why don't you all do that as a call to action? If you feel like you're somewhere in your business that you are stuck at diamond, at double, at a certain dollar amount, why don't you video journal, just look yourself dead in the eye and say, why am I stuck at $12,000 a month? And just sit back and start talking, and the answer will come, and it will typically take you into tears. And you'll know then, and that's where you go to work on. Okay, what time is it? We've got a couple more minutes.
All right, the next question someone had asked was the best recommendation for reopening conversation with a potential, and they were ready to sign, but then it kind of falls off, and they know keep the relationship open, but any just vital ideas for...
I think the easiest thing to do is ask them why. So TIffany, you were so interested in It Works, and suddenly I just feel like a coldness came over that. Can you explain why? I'm just curious. It will help me better understand with you and also with maybe my next person. And let them be open and honest. Usually it's not the first thing they tell you. So they'll say, well, I didn't want you to know that I didn't have the money. All right, so you're saying if you had the money, then you would join? Well, let's just say you had the money. Then are you ready to join? Well, you know what? I just don't know if I can do this. You're just so upbeat all the time, and you've got such a wealth of friends. I just don't know if I can do it. So it's usually the second or third thing they tell you. So I would just go back, even to someone that you talked to 6 months ago, and say, I thought about you today, because you're going to think about them right now. I thought about you today, and I thought, wonder why they didn't join. Wonder what was going through their mind. Could you tell me? So I could just better understand, so that the next time that I run into someone like this that says the same thing, I can get a better picture, a better idea of what was happening with them, and just be honest with them. I know a lot of you, Kaye uses this. She'll say, did I do something to offend you? She'll do that in a text message. And it's not any of that. When I was being recruited for my first company before finding this product, it was months before I joined. Months. And he kept asking, and I kept throwing them away and not talking to him, and then talking to him and making stuff up. None of it was real. I didn't even personally know why I hadn't joined, other than I was just afraid, probably. Just afraid for some reason. So sometimes you can't pinpoint it.
Awesome.
Okay, one more, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Recently, full time with It Works, it seems the world has alternate plans to take my time when I should be focusing intently on building the business. So it seems like there's distractions coming in when they're ready to go all in. As a full-time networker now, I know I have to be more disciplined than ever. What works best for you to shut out the distractions that seem to come from every day, from every direction all the time? Probably, we could think family, we could think spouse,
yeah.
we could think kids, we could think, just life, errands to run, etc. What does a non-typical day look like? Seriously, really, really want to know what it looks like. I know they're all different, but you have the best example. You raised 2 kids with networking and really set a really nice plan for yourself,
I would first of all just, get over that, but thought of distractions, because that's life. Somebody's going to be born and somebody's going to die. And in between all of that, somebody gets sick, and then, the car breaks down, or 3 parties were booked and suddenly they're not booked. And 4 people were coming in and suddenly 4 people aren't coming in. And so these are all things that, we can look at and say these are distractions, but that's just life. That is just day in and day out life. So, one of the things that I did is I always wrote down what I wanted to achieve the next day. I had my list, my ongoing list of, Dave taught me this, because Dave is so organized. And so write down who you want to talk to, of course, the meetings that you're going to have. And I'm a very visual person, so I like to do it in writing, not on my phone. And we didn't have phones in the beginning, so I've always just used paper and pen. And so at least check off 2 or 3 of them. So you feel like, well, at least I did something today. It wasn't totally destructive. Because we have to give ourselves a break. And if every day, though, is totally chaotic for you, then I would really take a look at that and saying, am I allowing these distractions in so that I don't work? Because I'm afraid to go to work. So that's another question too. Am I allowing these distractions to come in so that I can justify not working today? And I found that I would get to those places too, those points in my business too. And it seemed like life was coming in so much. And I knew that I had to carve out, and I had to tell my spouse, the children, and my friends that I am focused during these time slots on building my business. And unless somebody's dying, don't come knocking on my door. And I think I know we have to be serious about that, and we have to let the family know we're very serious about that. So carve out that time, and when you're in that time zone, then you want to make sure that the activities are bringing in customers, bringing in distributors, and working with your current team and doing your follow-ups, because that's what's making you money. So again, that might be a good thing to video journal. Why am I feeling so distracted? What am I afraid of? Why am I allowing these distractions in? And what can I do to better equip my day? Do I need some help? You know, do I need some outside help coming in? Would it be beneficial for me to hire someone to come in for 2 or 3 hours a day to take care of the family while I build my business? You know, we tend to fall apart when we quit a job and come in and do It Works full time, because we have a ritual, we have habits. Our structure then is all torn apart, and suddenly we have this whole big day. And I remember not wanting to recruit some of my friends in It Works because they can't get off the sofa. I mean, they're like, they can't get out of their house. And I'm like, you got all day. You have 1 child, you have 2 kids, you have maybe 3. You can't even get out of the house. I know moms with 8 kids that can get out of the house and get a lot done. So look at that too. Am I disorganized because for a reason? Do I need somebody to come in and help me with this? Really find out what you want. If you really want to build this, then make those executive decisions and understand that that is not what you want, and to change that up. Because when you look at having that whole day and night, that's a lot of time that we could be working at Works. And some of my best recruiting times were 9 p.m. to midnight. It was when the kids were in bed. We could get so much done. And I could spend most of my day with them if I needed to. So yeah, what do you want? It comes back to that why, and willing to make some sacrifices and some changes, and understanding who you are and where you come from. Nolan, you're looking good, man. You look good.
You look awesome, Pam.
Thank you, baby. All right,
Thank
everyone.
you so much for doing this for us. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I just had a little more life than all of you, and I hope that you all follow my daughter and my beautiful grandson, because he is just making our life just so full of joy. Somebody asked Dave, what's your passion? He said Kennedy. Kennedy is now his passion. So anyway, I love you guys so much. Make sure that on October 16th you are ready to hit the purchase button and get your conference ticket. You do not want to miss this conference. There's some surprises, and you're going to hear about them this month. But we're taking it up a whole nother level. This conference is going to be just off the charts, and we're going to put a lot into it. It's just going to be a beautiful, beautiful event. But most importantly, it will change your business. It will change your perspective on who you are, what you feel about It Works, and that vision will just be up another notch. You can't miss it. You're going to get 3 wrap rewards. You can afford it. Look, if you go in thinking I can't afford it, you're not going to do it. You can afford it. Make the investment. We've all made investments in ourselves when we didn't have the money, and it was the best decision we ever did. So sell something. Sell the coat, sell the dog, don't sell the kids, but do something to get yourself a conference ticket, and already tell your spouse you're going. Don't let that be an excuse. You got to be there. Mwah. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Pam. Thank you.
Love you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.